Parashat Vayigash is a continuation from the previous parasha where Yosef hides a cup, a golden cup, in Binyamin's sack, and then catches them on the way back to Yaakov and calls him a traitor, calls him a thief, and brings Binyamin back to imprison him. The parasha ends with Yehuda coming to Yosef to tell him to keep all of them there, all of the brothers. And it continues in today's parasha where Yosef tells Binyamin that he's the only one that will stay and everyone else can go back to his father. And Yehuda then makes a speech, a very moving speech where he tells Yosef of what they've gone through in life, the brother that they lost, the father that is in deep despair, the promise that Yehuda made to his father saying that he will bring Binyamin back. And it was very interesting in the last parasha when Reuven tells Yaakov, tries to persuade him to let him take Binyamin, he swears to him that if he does not bring Binyamin back, Yaakov, can kill his two children, Reuven's two children, so Yaakov's grandchildren. And of course, Yaakov doesn't accept that and tells him not to go. And this promise was somewhat odd in a way, because that wouldn't happen anyways. Why would you destroy something by, destroying something else that's also dear to Yaakov? And then Yehuda comes and says, trust me, Father, after a few more days or weeks that, they're hungry and they need food, Yehuda comes to Yaakov and says, let us go. If I don't bring him back, I will have sinned against you all the days of my life. And then Yaakov lets him go, because that is a true understanding of Yehuda that has done tshuva, like we spoke about before, and noticing how big of a deal that is to sin against your father for all the days of your life. So Yaakov lets him go, and now Yehuda stands before Yosef, pleading with him, telling him the story, and telling them that if they go back to Yaakov without Binyamin, Yaakov will die. He won't bear it. And that's where Yosef breaks and reveals who he really is to his brothers. Then, continuing on the parasha, we won't get to all the stories. All the family comes. Yosef sends his brothers with a lot of food and a lot of carriages and horses and camels to bring Yaakov and the whole family back to Egypt, where they can live and be under his tutelage. And when they come back, Yosef introduces Yaakov to Pharaoh. And when Yaakov comes to Pharaoh, it's very surprising again. We have a touching story that Pharaoh asks him, how old are you? And Yaakov says, 130 years, which have all been short and bad, not like my forefathers' lives. And then you start thinking, why in the world do both Yehuda and Yaakov speak of emotions and family problems to someone that doesn't necessarily care? Why would Pharaoh care that Yaakov's life was short and bad? What does it matter, and what would it gain him? What's that complaining about? But then we look a little further in and try to understand, because the Torah always teaches us something. So when Yehuda did that to Yosef to try to touch his heart, it was really to try to get either himself in instead of Binyamin, or have all of them stay so he wouldn't have to face his dad. But then Yaakov, you don't really understand why he would do such a thing. But if you read the verses again, you see that it says that Pharaoh asked Yaakov, how long were your two lives? Shnei chayecha, right? Shnei yamei chayecha. So that means that there was a conversation that happened beforehand. They were already in a conversation. And Pharaoh understood, and he was asking questions. And he understood that Yaakov had similar to Sarah, two lives. And then it makes more sense. Already in a conversation, already in going into detail, Pharaoh is, Yaakov's not only giving a straight answer to like, oh, how old are you? Oh, my life is horrible. But in a deep conversation, he's answering the question asked. And he's also teaching Pharaoh something. Yaakov is named here Yaakov and not Israel, even though it says Shnei Yemeichecha, which includes also Yaakov and also Israel. And he's telling Pharaoh, look at me. I have lived 130 years, and they have all been bad. They have all been short and bad. But I am the father of 12 tribes, of 12 children, 12 men, boys, and they will all turn out to be tzaddikim. My forefathers lived much longer and much easier lives, but they only had one son that kept going. Because of what I have gone through, because of what I have done, of what I have lost, the sacrifices, and my kept belief in Hashem, I will gain much more. And he is telling Pharaoh this to try to maybe persuade him, realize that not everything in life is that luxury and the good, but from the hard work, from the suffering, and from the continued belief in Hashem, the good will come out of it. We are not here in this world to just live in comfort and to enjoy life and to be happy. That doesn't matter. We are here to do Hashem's work, to do mitzvot, to study His Torah, and to pass on His teachings. That is what we must do. If it makes us happy along the way, then great. We have earned a little bit more. But the matter of the fact is we're here to serve. And that's what we should do, and that's how we shall gain Hashem's favor. Shabbat Shalom.